Hello, once again, this is apps, and in this video we're going to go over the basic syntax in C++. So, in C++ we have a syntax, and basically it's a set of rules that govern the language and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in C++. In any programming language, you're going to have a syntax. You're going to have words that mean something and words that don't mean something, and so you're going to have to recognize what's allowed and what is not allowed. In C++ specifically, we have what we call keywords. And what keywords are is they're just a tool that let us do extra things in the program. So there's keywords such as if we wanted to make an if statement. There's a keyword called new, delete. There's a keyword called char if we wanted to make a char variable. Basically, these keywords are predefined, and we're not allowed to use them when they're not allowed to be used. And so it's good to recognize what a keyword is, and that you can't declare a variable as a keyword. You can't declare char and call it char. That's just not acceptable. It's not allowed. And so, yeah, keywords. Make sure you know what they are and how to use them. Also, in C++, whenever we have a statement, we usually end our statements with a semicolon. So if we want to declare a variable, let's say char and call it var. And we can set it equal to 5, and we end it with a semicolon. Basically, this is just saying that this statement is over, and it's declared here. And so if we left it off without a semicolon, we'd get an error. I'll just go ahead and show you. So we'd get a red line here, and we could go ahead and try debugging this, but we won't be able to because there's an error. So whenever we have a line in C++, we need to end it with a semicolon. Notice that this statement right here does not have a semicolon, and this one does not. These are a little bit different. This is a function, and this is including a library. That's a little bit different from actual statements in C++. So another thing to remember is that in C++, everything's case sensitive. And what I mean by case sensitive is that when you have something, you can't spell it differently than what you had previously. You can't have it capitalized where it's not capitalized. For example, let's go ahead and just make var, and let's go ahead and try referencing var again, but instead of doing that, we'll capitalize the V and the A and the R, and we'll just go ahead and set it to 5. And alright, look at that. The compiler right now is not recognizing what var is because we have it defined as var and not capitalized var, and so it's not going to recognize it because C++ is case sensitive. Also, you have to make sure your spelling is correct. You can't just call it variable, var for variable. It's also not going to know what that is because, well, we haven't declared variable, we've declared var. And so just remember that when you're programming, make sure everything's spelled correctly. I know I have problems with this all the time in my programs where I'll misspell something or something like that. Also, I'll misplace a semicolon where I'll forget to use one. It's always a challenge, but just keep your eyes open, and I hope this video helped.